All right. Gonna close this one out.
Yeah.
Yeah? You all right, buddy?
Just tired.
Yeah. What time did you get in?
Oh, I got in hella early, like 5, 6 yesterday, but I was just
Oh, okay.
working on game news for a few hours, and then I was like, F it, I'm gonna go to sleep, and I didn't sleep that well. Oh. QQ. The Overwatch Grand Finals for the season are tonight. Probably gonna watch that.
Pretty crazy, crazy gameplay on those.
Man, those guys are so good.
Beast mode.
It's crazy. They're like just rampaging. Ugh.
Did you just hear that?
Yeah, that was loud.
Auto connecting again.
Bluetooth disconnected.
Shut up.
That's enough out of you, robot.
You already have one.
What was that? Nothing. You're the best. Please don't kill me. Oh, I need to stop yawning. Fuck.
Alright. Cool, 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 cool.
Cool, 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 cool.
2 minutes.
Yeah. Nothing new coming in. Deathloop. Blah. Be done with this game already, jeez.
Restream doesn't even have the ability to show
Things.
Yeah, kind of weird. Oh well, it's not that big of a deal. Alrighty, almost ready. That sucks. Mel's not here. I think she had some family thing, right?
Yeah, she said some families in from out of town.
Yeah.
I was like, all right. Alright.
We're good with that. Okay. We're about to get started. Actually, it's 12. So you want to get started now?
It is in fact 12.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever, man.
All right. Good. Everybody who's in the chats, welcome. We're about to get
Zero's
started. What's that?
Zero is bitching about your timer now, not the audio.
You do understand, like it's like a I can just start it back up if I wanted to, right? You know,
You're like,
it
5 more minutes.
doesn't
You minus
dictate.
5.
You want to keep on talking? Keep on talking. I'll just
Like
add
right as it
another
gets to like 2 seconds, be like, and a minute. Okay.
Oh my god.
Gee, if only we could have somebody in our chats who just endlessly complains about everything.
Man,
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
If we could just get one of those.
Surprisingly enough, it's not our audio this week.
Oh wow. And all of a sudden he's gonna be like, I can't hear you.
Yeah.
What are you saying? Why did this timer reset? I can't hear what you're saying.
Yeah. Look, I don't like you talking smack, but I can't hear you.
Exactly. You look like you're talking smack,
Yeah.
and we don't need that right now.
Besides having bad audio, he has timing issues. All right.
Why don't you just complain a little more?
Yeah, right. All right. How about let's do this? By the way, we have a follower giveaway for those who are watching or will be watching on the VOD. First 100 followers are automatically entered to win $25 so long as you're eligible. But enough of that plug. Let's get started.
It's that time for our weekly Game News Live podcast. Be a part of the show.
So what is that $25 for?
/Twitch.
Games?
Live Saturdays at 12 noon Pacific, 3 p.m.
Things
Eastern.
of that
With
nature?
your host.
You said it's a $25 gift card. For what?
For Steam.
For Steam.
It's on the screen.
Well, look, man. Maybe somebody's like listening to this like a podcast. You know, like they have their, you know, they're driving to work and they're on their respective freeway, and you know, there's traffic, and they're like, gift card for what? You know, and it's like for Steam,
Yeah. So
which is one of the many PC markets.
it's one of those small ones. They're not really that big. They're not really
Yeah.
well known.
One of the many. I think they have Counter-Strike now.
Yeah.
I
That's
think
it.
that's
Yeah. But yeah, welcome everyone to the weekly game news. We're back here for another round of articles that Clay himself have collected over the week.
oh me. Okay,
Yeah.
right.
You did that. That's you.
I did that.
That's how you do it.
That's yeah.
Yeah. All
I
right.
figured, you know, I'm endlessly reading video game news anyway. It's like, ooh, this is good. Ooh,
Yeah.
I'm gonna save this one for later. Ooh, oh, ooh, that's a good one right there.
Yeah.
That right there. Yeah.
And then anybody else who wants to take part of that whole Twitch follower thing that isn't following yet, go ahead and follow us. But yeah, all this is coming in. Mel's not here today because she has some family stuff that she needs to do with
Family.
her computer
apparently,
family.
family is in town.
Yeah.
And then she was like, "Hey, I gotta go spend time with family," and we're like, "What does that mean?" I don't
Do they not understand you have obligations
exactly.
that you're not getting paid for?
Yes, this is a full-time job, unpaid.
Yeah.
So we need you
hey, family's in. So you're still coming to work, right?
to, like, I have a wedding to be in, and it's like you can do that after the show. That's
Right.
you know, priorities. You
Yeah.
know,
All right, so let's get started with what we usually get started with, which is the game releases. For anyone who's been dying to know what's going to come out this week, or if you just need to bump up those numbers on your Steam category, here we go.
hold on a second.
What's that?
Zero is on here. Zero was you know, what's the polite way of saying bitching yesterday about resetting the game server, and I was
Yeah.
like, what server? And he was like, all of them. What is he talking about here? What is
So we have game servers now on our Discord.
kind of like when you used to host like Minecraft. And
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
So
yeah,
we have game servers now for like Rust,
that 7 Days to Die game.
7
or
days, and then we also
Valheim,
we have
yeah.
Valheim, and I think we also we're starting up, or I'm still working on it. The Bedrock server, I think I also have that for Minecraft. And then there's another server that I'm working on. So a lot of this stuff is mostly for my own training. Like, I know that corporate entities are not going to be all like, hey, can we get that Steam server? That dedicated Steam server. But it is getting me well versed with Linux, which is something that I want to work on.
So you're, when you, what he says, every time you restart the server, they get wiped, is like.
So at one point, not Valheim, 7 Days to Die did not have a backup, like an auto backup cron job. And every single time, like, the Docker or the container would be reset, it would start off like a brand new game. It wouldn't even save anything. So that happened, and then the exact same thing happened with Valheim because it just went back 5 minutes from the last backup. So that's what he means by wipe. But then I put it all into an Ubuntu installation, and now everything had to be restarted. So different situation. Not that every single time I shut it down they get wiped. Is that I'm purposely wiping them because I'm upgrading the damn server. So shut up.
Well, okay. I'm gonna look at it at the other side here. Zero's servers that he hosts, do they ever reset?
I didn't even know he had servers.
How about that? Shut your face!
Shut your face!
Zero!
Yeah. Hey, I paid a lot of good money for these servers. No, you didn't.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Not only that, but you got mod power, so that was for free.
Why don't you go find some rocks and kick them along the way? Yes.
Dude, it has been an eye-opener for how much it takes to keep these things running 100% all the time.
Yeah.
My power actually, one of the power strips that were on here, they went out, and because one of the power plugs went out, and because it's connected to all the lights in the bathroom, all of the lights in the bathroom went out until it needed to be replaced. And because I rent, I have to wait for the landlord to go and replace it. And then he called the insurance, and they're like, "Oh, we don't cover that." So he had to come from California all the way to replace that.
Wait, the insurance doesn't cover the power needed for you to host your game servers out of your rented house?
Yeah.
I mean,
how dare they?
Kind of janky company are you renting or getting insurance from?
Yeah. So at this point, now the lights are back on as of like an hour ago. And the server is nice and cool, and it's all set up. So
nice.
We're good.
Great.
So if you still have any issues, make sure you put it in our complaint box.
Yes.
It is located in the bathroom, and it is nice porcelain, and you just put it in there. Put it in there. Make sure you get your nice fingers wet while they're in there.
Yes. There's a submit lever as well.
Yeah, and then you submit it.
Yeah.
Because they're free. Shut up.
What's up, Robert?
Yeah, what's up, Robert? All right, so we got Dark and Robert here. We're going to get started with the game releases because we're just going to fly through those. They're cool. Game releases are great, but you're here for the bread and butter. Rumor control.
Complaint box. Hey, Mel's actually here.
Hey, what's up, Mel?
Oh, just phoning it in, huh? Okay.
I see. So you think just because there's a pandemic, you can just remote in, huh? You could just skip out on the video. How will we know how to micromanage you, Mel?
Exactly.
Sheesh.
This is not what a good director does. No, yeah. I'm just putting that out there. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get on with the game releases. We have a couple of articles to go through, but we have our first one, which is In Sound Mind, which is going to be released on September 28th on PlayStation 5, Series X, and PC. Nintendo And that's about it, right? I don't know if they're on streaming services or anything like that.
Usually they would, be promoting it if so. So no.
Right. And this is most. Go ahead.
I was gonna say this looks kind of cool. It looks kind of like an old school first-person horror game. Like it's a lot of, you're just snooping around in dark areas with a flashlight, and you're looking for things. You're probably trying to bust open the whole story and uncover some crazy conspiracy that some corporation is doing, because that's how they all are at this point in time. But I thought it looked pretty cool, and I mean, like we'd like to look at horror games on this channel. Mel's our resident horror gamer here, but it's I was hoping she was going to be here this week. She abandoned us for her real family, whoever that is. But it's like I saw this something coming soon, and I saw a couple trailers on it, and I was like, I'm gonna check this out. Like, me not play it because it's way too scary for me.
Yeah,
but
you out there can play it.
Maybe I'll gamefly it and give it to a buddy of mine and just sit there and watch and be like,
¿Por qué?
¿Por qué? Yeah, but no, it's again, not my. Look, I'm not even reading excuses in the chat right now. Look at this, okay? It's.
You know what? Why don't you take your time off, and then we'll see you on Monday, okay? And then we'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll have a nice little morning meeting.
Make sure you grab your cardboard box before you
Exactly. You might want to make sure you have enough adequate storage.
Mel's going to punch us in the face. All right, but so first-person shooter horror story. You know what? I haven't seen too many of these games. Mm-hmm. I saw more like in the early 2000s with like is Outlast is kind of one of those games.
Well, Outlast is a first person, but it's not a shooter.
Yeah,
it's more like a hide and seek.
I feel like
you're constantly hiding and therefore videotaping things, and that's about it. Yeah.
But then I feel like the guns kind of take it to a different level. Like it kind of puts them in two separate categories. Like if you look at Outlast, it doesn't expect you to beat the crap out of things, right? It expects
there is no combat in that game.
Right.
Yeah.
So it sits on this category here where it's just like, I just want to feel fear and helplessness all the time, right? But then there's this category, which is more like on the Resident Evil side, even though Resident Evil is not a first-person shooter, or like fear. Fear is one of those that are just
fear. Fear would be a good thing, but if you remember, Resident Evil went first person after 7, so 7 and 8 are now first person Resident Evil games. But yeah, these I don't know, so picture like a newer Resident Evil game, Resident Evil 7 or Village or whatever, but it's this is obviously not as polished.
Yeah,
this is not Village is a very good looking game. This is not it. Yeah. Right. This is something different. But I from the trailers and the screenshots, these little media things they have here, I think it has potential.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
I think a lot of games like this end up just being cult classics, but I guess it just depends, right? Like it just depends on like, have you seen some of the like 2D sprite games that are just kind of like horror games? I can't remember the name of one, but it just became like a cult classic everywhere. Even my son was just like, oh, I love this thing, I love this game and whatnot, and the story just goes on. And I can't remember what it was, but it was Undertale, I think it was, maybe. Well,
Undertale isn't really a horror game. It's a pixel game,
right?
But it's more of like a story drama kind of thing, than anything.
But there's definitely like a following for these kind of unpolished or not expected to be huge 3D graphics games that are the horror genre. And I think that's a great thing for them. But I'm not that type of person to play the scary games anymore.
Yeah,
they're just not my thing. I played Outlast longer than I expected to play it, and my son and daughter, my oldest son and daughter, beat it. I couldn't get past like the insanity ward part. Like I just could not do it. So props to my kids.
I played that small section of the demo at E3 in VR, and it was terrifying.
And the only reason The only reason why you withstood that is because you were out in public.
Yeah, with a camera on me the whole time. Like, sure, I can do this. Yeah.
Yeah, these games are pretty scary. But yeah, September 28th, go check it out if you enjoy
Looks
these
cool.
kind of games.
Yeah. Someone check it out. Mel, check it out. Somebody let us know how this is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, next one up is called Lemnis Gate, also out on the
Lemnis Gate.
28th. This one looks pretty cool, but from the screenshot, it kind of shows like first-person shooter-esque, but you were telling me that it's more strategy, right?
This game is very, like, what they're showing you here, like first-person shooter action, running around, jumping, shooting things. This is not the game.
Oh.
Like, this is not what this game is. There's actually a really good video on Xbox's YouTube channel. So if you just go to YouTube/Xbox and look up Lemnis Gate, they actually have like a whole, like it's like a 5-minute video where it's like, here's what the game actually is. And it kind of walks you through the whole thing. But just to kind of sum it up here, it's a big open battlefield kind of thing, like, you know, things that you're looking at here.
Mm-hmm.
But the game is structured around kind of like a turn-based strategy game. So there's like a timer that starts, and you pick like one of your soldiers, and say the entire purpose of the map is to like go blow up this certain objective or something like that. So you have that guy trucking along the way, and it's kind of like recording your game session for like 25 seconds. You're going to beeline it to that objective and start just nuking it with grenades or missiles or whatever you have. Timer stops, and then the game starts auto-playing, where that's your character, and he runs along his way and he starts blowing that thing up. The other player on the other side is trying to stop you. So their soldier is trying to jump in the way, and maybe they see what you're trying to do, and they're going to kill your guy before he gets there. Okay, now it's your turn to take over again. So you're going to deploy another person out in the field to kill that guy before he kills your first guy.
Would you say it's kind of like an XCOM of sorts?
It's XCOM, but faster paced. So like these little shots here where you're kind of flying like a drone, that's kind of like your field of view when the game is auto playing itself. So you can like look around the battlefield and see what your opponent is planning their troops to do. So
it's just like a giant 3D chessboard and just trying to see how it all plays out.
This is basically like a chess game that is masquerading itself as an FPS.
All right. Well,
I can see
liking it.
this kind of game taking off. Like, I can see this being something people want to play, because I know a lot of people who love strategy games like this. I'm not one of them, but I think this is a very unique idea for a game. And because of that, I'm on board. I'm like, the last thing we need is more Call of Duties, right? Like, you got your Call of Duty, you got your Battlefield, you got Splitgate, you got Halo coming out. You know, like,
there's a lot of campy cookie cutter games coming out.
There's a lot of FPS out there already. That's not what we need. This is a unique take on it, and because of that, like I said, it's not my type of game, but I can see this being very popular. Yeah.
All right. Well, this one's also out on the 28th for PlayStation, Steam, Windows, and Xbox. I don't think there's a Nintendo Switch version in here, but maybe later.
This is going to be a little too big for the Switch.
Yeah. All right, so we have articles here. The last two articles for game releases, I believe, are dedicated to our resident fanboy, BK. So FIFA 22 is coming out.
FIFA 22. I was hoping he was going to be here today.
Yeah. Well, I think he was here earlier.
Oh, was he? Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say, FIFA's
he was here
coming
at
out.
12:06.
FIFA. Oh, there you go. Okay, BK, we did this one just for you because God knows Joe and I have no interest in soccer whatsoever.
And
you got FIFA 22 coming out next week, and you got eFootball coming out next week. The big two. You know, eFootball's the new one by Konami. It's taken over for, PES. And then you have your classic EA FIFA. You know, so what say you, BK? What are we looking forward to, and why?
Yeah.
Like, is FIFA your game?
Or better
is
yet,
PES your game? Yeah.
Yeah. Any of these games, which one are you most excited for? Because I know FIFA has been the top dog for quite a while, right?
But yes, FIFA is the top dog, and but with that, it's like, do we care about FIFA? have we ever cared about FIFA? I know FIFA's popular and they have, there's tournaments and it makes a ton of money. But is PES just a better game? And therefore eFootball? And I know that eFootball is brand new, but it's like, which one do we want? Like, if tomorrow somebody comes up to me and goes, hey, Clay, look, I really love soccer games. Which one should I get?
Right.
What am I telling them?
Yeah.
PES, or therefore eFootball, because it's new this time, I can see that. FIFA is probably like a roster update.
However, it's not complete. And what do you mean by that?
So
like, if it's
is it
not
like,
complete, like
it's a free trial.
Missing features that were promised, or that there are features that are included in FIFA that are not in eFootball? Only 9 teams at launch. Wow.
So, I would say this also. Okay. EA, like, if you think of the FIFA model, the Madden model, these games are going to be microtransaction cities, right? Like, PES or eFootball is owned by Konami.
Yeah.
They're going to microtransact the hell out of you too, but at least eFootball is a free game. You're not paying $60 plus all the microtransactions. You're free plus the microtransactions,
Yeah.
So
I mean,
I'm guessing eFootball would be the way to lean on this.
So
I
can see why both models work here. FIFA's already tried and true on whatever they want to do with roster updates and maybe a couple little things here and there. But then you have incoming brand new title, eFootball, and they're starting off small by giving you only the things that get you hooked on, which is like player versus player, right? But then releasing other game modes as it goes on, still drawing away from the early adoption, early burnout, and keeping it alive longer by saying, oh, okay, we'll give you this mode now, and then we're going to go with a different mode later, so that way you come back, and it just makes it look like, hey, it's still popular throughout this entire time. But it's just that the game modes that they've released are just timed, right?
So BK says he's already playing FIFA 22 through EA Play, which is a 10-hour trial. What do we think about FIFA 22 so far? Is it a roster update, or did they actually do anything different this time?
I mean, they are introducing on the page itself. They are introducing like new motion capture technology and whatnot. I think here it is, hypermotion. But at the very same time, like, what does that add to the game for you? Like, for an actual person that wants to buy the next version? Because if we talked about it before, these kind of sports games where it's just like every year there's a new release, but then it just doesn't seem like they go any different path. I think the last time that I heard about anything brand new from a sports game is that they have manager mode. You know what I mean? And I was just like, okay, well, what does that matter? You want to be a manager of a football team? What? I just don't. It's kind of like if I looked at Farm Simulator and then I look out the window and I got an entire farm. You know what I mean? Like, it's just go do it. But whatever. It is what it is.
FIFA 22, they basically took the gameplay from last year and slowed it down. It's almost no difference. The AI defense did get reworked though. So that's something, right? Like, I don't expect much out of sports games outside of roster updates. Right. So it's like FIFA is a formula that works, and I know it works because it makes a ton of money.
Right.
But like, is it enough? Or if you buy like the Series X PS5 version, like the next gen stuff,
right,
is that going to make a difference?
I would think that at this point, every sports game needs to figure out a way to set itself apart from another sports game of the same league. You know what I mean? Like you have the Maddens of the world, and then you have like the 2K lines. You have all that stuff, and there's some little things that you like about it, but essentially it's the same game, right? There's got to be something that just sets it apart, because just like how it is with first-person shooters, you know what you're gonna get when you look at every title. Either you like slow-moving Master Chiefs, or you like fast-moving, sliding ridiculousness that tries to sell itself as the official like military shooter, but yet they have a whole bunch of campy costumes. It's just whatever your thing is. And then
He
you have
says
Battlefield.
eFootball changed the control scheme from PES, so you have to relearn the game, which can be much more interesting. Let us know. Let us know next week, or hit us up on Discord or whatever. Let us know either way. I'm curious. Just to be like, I don't know a lot of people who play soccer games. It's really you. So it's like, I am curious, but like, just in case anybody does say something, it's like, hey, what do you think about that? I'm going to be like, oh, hey, I have a soccer guy, and he says eFootball's the way to go. Or he says eFootball was a colossal mistake. Just go FIFA because you know how to play it.
Yeah, we'd like to hear those opinions because honestly, we're probably never going to play those games, and we'd like to at least tap into that whole information on
BT does.
Yeah,
the soccer games. So I'm hanging out with Cinderkin like last week, and we were playing that. If you remember, this is like 3 weeks ago on new releases. It was called like Guts and Goals. It was this soccer game where you have like weapons and you beat the crap out of each other and stuff.
Yeah.
Was not that good.
No?
Was not that. I was like, I had such high hopes for this game. It's really easy to lose control of who you are because they're all really small people running around the field. And it's like when they all converge on each other, you're like, I don't even know where I am. Yeah. And you're like running off in the corner of the screen somewhere. And you're like, how did I get up there? Like, what's. Yeah.
So the quick select button just randomly selects whatever, or you have to like directional button and then quick select?
It's a twin stick. So it's like you're moving around and then you aim and then you like pull a trigger to like attack people and then like you have to beat the soccer ball into the goal and stuff. It was a mess.
Wow. All right. Yeah. Well, it is what it is. But now it's time for rumor control. Ready? We got rumor control here from Quantum.
It'd be so good if you actually had like a big thing now and like Mel's not here and it's like...
I know, right? Like we just introduced the new stuff. Yeah. We have a guy already working on it for us. Red Dragon Studios working on it again for us. So he's going to be doing all the segments.
Rumors.
Yeah.
Rumors.
What's up, Wondering Raven? All right.
Hey, Raven.
Let's go on to rumor control because this time around we have possibly Quantic Dreams working on a Star Wars title. What it is, we don't know yet. Obviously, that's why it's rumor. But
it is, yes.
They did set themselves up for these kind of interactive games and deep story by showing us what it was like to play, what was it? Too Human? Was it Too Human or was it?
No, so Too Human was a Silicon Knights game. There was Detroit Become Human,
right?
If that's what you're talking about. Or for 2, it would be Beyond Two Souls. They also did Heavy Rain.
Yeah.
And before that, they did a game called Fahrenheit or Indigo Prophecy, depending on which region you're in.
It seems like their games try to hit for a very interactive story with some high-end like graphics, and motion capture nowadays. I don't know about their older stuff, but
I can see that. I've played all of their games. I think they are a pretty solid game developer, like Quantic Dream. They're pretty good. They the thing I really like about their games, and if you play any of them, I know a lot of them are on PC now, so that's good. They are choose your own adventure, and I mean, huge spectrum of like branching paths, endings for the games. Like my game will turn out nothing like yours, and I think that's awesome. Yeah, like I like games like that. And I'll give you an example of something that's like in the opposite direction. So for instance, like if you're playing Detroit Become Human, which I thought was a really solid game, that came out like 3 years ago. If you play that, and there's different endings. You can be like a good guy, you can be a bad guy, you can get everybody killed, you can save as many people as possible. It's like, it has like a lot of options in that game. Or if you play something like The Walking Dead, like Telltale's The Walking Dead, where it kind of gives you the illusion that you're in like a choose your own adventure game, but it doesn't really matter because it's the same ending every time.
Right.
It's like, that's two different ways to like look at it. Like Quantic Dreams games have like branching paths all over the place, and it actually does like change up the game every time you play it, which is really cool.
Right.
If they're going to make a Star Wars game, I'm on board because I love Star Wars, but I would hope for something a little more exciting, unless they're going to go straight up like story-based, like a detective story or something like that. Like Quantic Dream doesn't make action games, right? So it's like this is going to have to be something super story-based. Like a Jedi has to go investigate a crime or something like that, you know. But it's not really. They're at no point in the game do they break out a lightsaber and kill somebody unless it's a story decision. And at that point, you don't even do it yourself, or if you do, it's like a quick time. Because their games are full of QTEs.
Do you
so
think
it'll be like, here comes the lightsaber duel, and it's like X, square, L1, and if you miss one of those, you're dead.
So kind of like a Double Fine game, right?
Well, Double Fine just makes everything. Like Psychonauts 2 is their latest one. But but yeah, it's like, yeah, Quantic Dream has a formula, and it's a lot of story, it's a lot of dialogue decisions, and it's a lot of quick time.
But something I have noticed about Star Wars franchise at this point, when it has to do with video games, is that they take whatever has been working, like Battlefield, right? And then they branch out and they go tap the shoulders of these game developers, and they're like, we want that, but with Star Wars. And so this is what that feels like to me. And it kind of opens up the idea of like, okay, well, your IP...
It would work though.
Yeah, it totally makes sense. Because I think at this point, because Disney and the way things are going with Marvel and Star Wars, they're doing a lot of cleanup from a lot of the old stuff. And so you're starting to see a couple of different timelines, especially with Marvel. And then you also start to see like, on Disney Plus, they have that new show. I don't know if it's like Visions or something like that.
Visions, yeah. That's the anime thing that just released.
Right, which I'm not exactly sure if all that stuff is canon, or if that's just branching out on the what ifs of Marvel's coattails. You know what I mean?
It's my understanding it's not canon. It's like Star Wars inspired stories. Yeah, but I haven't watched it yet, and I haven't really read up on it, so I don't know for 100%. I'm pretty sure it's not canon though.
Yeah, I think I saw a clip where it was showing like two people about to have a lightsaber duel, and then one of the assassins finds out like, oh, they're a Jedi, but they're not a Jedi, they're another Sith, and I'm just like, oh, I gotta watch this. Yeah.
I love Star Wars. I'm gonna watch it anyway. It's just I haven't had time this week yet, so I was gonna get to it.
Yeah.
So Raven says not canon, but good though. I'm certain it's gonna be good. I'm a Star Wars fanboy, so I'm gonna be all over it anyway.
Yeah. All right.
But yeah, Star Wars, as far as video games go, you make a good point about like we want Call of Duty, but Star Wars. You know, like that kind of formula, right? But I think in the case of Quantic Dream, or even like somebody else, like when Respawn made Jedi Fallen Order, which was an awesome game, I think it's more along the lines of the way Star Wars is doing its new licensing. So they ended their exclusivity with EA, right? Then, so at the moment they're open. They're open for business. Like Lucasfilm Games is like, you have an idea, let's hear it. And Quantic Dream at that point was probably like, what do we want to do for our next game? And somebody was like, Star Wars. And they were like, we could do that. And then they go talk to Lucasfilm Games and they go, what do you think? Like, here's Heavy Rain, here's Detroit Become Human. We want to do that with Star Wars. Lucasfilm Games was probably like, we'll take 40%. Go.
I would think it's the reverse. I don't think that the stories come from, or let's just say, Star Wars and Disney control the story heavily.
Disney controls everything, right? From what I remember reading, when Jedi Fallen Order was being made, they have like EA or Respawn had their people meet with, all the Lucas and Disney people.
Right.
And they basically said, what are we allowed to do? What aren't we allowed to do? And like, give us your parameters and we'll create something. And then they did. And then they said, hey, we have this hero. he's another Padawan from Order 66, Cal Kestis, and they were like, we can work with that. And then at that point, Cal becomes canonized, and then he's now in Star Wars.
But then I would also think like some of the storylines have to not step on the toes of whatever they're planning for the future, right?
Exactly, yeah, and that's which you know
that's
what?
a lot.
It is, but at the same time, it's like, and I am preaching to the choir, to the choir here. Like, this is stuff that has come up like a million times already, where it's like, now that we have 2 Knights of the Old Republic games coming out, it's like, why won't they just make the Old Republic canon? And it's like, oh, because it steps on Star Wars. And it's like, no, it takes place 3,000 years before everything else.
A lot can happen, right?
Nothing, it's like, none of that matters. You know, it's like, Revan, like, Darth Revan is he is 99% canon anyway. They sell official Star Wars Darth Revan lightsaber toys, but he himself is not canon. You know, it's
Wait,
like...
what?
Yeah, you can buy a Darth Revan lightsaber, or like official Disney Darth Revan lightsaber, but he's not canon. He's Legends.
That just seems
and it's like
that just seems like you're spitting on his grave while you're taking all his money.
It was 3,000 years, guys. Yeah. Come on, just make the Old Republic canon already. Like, make the Old Republic canon and then run with it. Make more games. Make a movie. Make a comic line.
Yeah.
There's a lot of money to be made by Revan fans.
I'm excited for almost anything Star Wars, so I'm rooting for Quantic Dreams for this to be actually true instead of rumor. But
yeah,
it's totally likely that they're going to actually do this. But
yeah, again, this is rumor control. Right. This is like somebody said they're making it, and this other person was like, "Yo, I heard that too. I think it's real." Mm-hmm. I hope it happens. I like Quantic Dream. I think they make good games. Well. Asterisk, Beyond Two Souls kind of sucked. I'm just going to put that out there. Yeah. Beyond Two Souls, not the best game, but like the other games they made, all solid.
Was that the one with what's her face in it? Beyond Two Souls.
It was Ellen Page. Yeah. It was now Elliot Page. Right. It was Ellen Page and your boy Willem Dafoe.
That's right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. He also did another game recently. It was
12 minutes.
He was lending out his voice acting chops for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so
12
good,
minutes.
Dude.
That was a weird freaking game.
Man. Oh, was it?
Like, by the time you get to the ending of that game, it's like, what? and not like time loop science stuff. Yeah. No, it's like the game goes to a really weird dark place, and you're just like, oh, okay. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to check this out.
Yeah. By the time you beat the game, it's on Game Pass. So just play it. But it was like, man, by the time you get to the ending of that game, it's just like, what in the crap is going on here?
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on to game news for this week. Our first article, we just got done with rumor control, but this one for the emulation people of the world is probably a really good piece of news here. So, Clay, I believe you and I were talking about this before the show, that you're able to now get dumps of games that were previously not available for emulation, right?
Yeah, well, or just they weren't available because nobody had access to the game. So this thing happened over last week. It's called Project Deluge, and it's like basically a group came forward and said, hey, we have all of these Xbox and Dreamcast prototype games. Prototype games, if it literally is the word, it's prototype. These were games that were in progress that either they got canceled by whoever the publisher was, or they lost a license, or it was a tech demo. Like they were like, hey, I'm going to build this thing just to show off what the Xbox or the Dreamcast could do, or something like that. And then the game just got shelved.
So a lot of these games might not be even completed. Is that what you're...
They might not even be complete. That's the thing. It's like these are not fully fledged games. These are all prototype games, but it's like these are but the fact that, so for instance, one of the games on here that you can see is Jet Grind Radio for the Xbox.
Right.
That was never released, and everybody's like, oh no, I played that. No, you played Jet Set Radio or Future, which was the sequel. Jet Grind Radio was a Dreamcast game. So this was the Xbox version of that game, which was a prototype. But yeah, there's like hundreds of games on here that
there's
they're all
Psychonauts in here for I'm not sure if this is Xbox or Sega Dreamcast.
Yeah.
There's Pac-Man World Rally, another Pac-Man game. There's a whole bunch of stuff on here.
Now, if anybody knows anything about me, I do not condone piracy. I do not emulate games myself. I have a very sizable game collection. I like to collect games and whatever. These games were never released, so in my opinion, this is fair game.
Mm-hmm.
like the Dreamcast is quite easy to play burned games on. The Xbox historically is a super easy system to mod. You know, it's like
you can do that with just a specific game.
That's what I'm saying. Like these are two consoles that are quite easy to do stuff like this with. But these games are prototypes. These are unreleased games. You cannot get these. Like it's not like I'm saying don't go buy the game, just download it over here. You can't buy that game. Yeah. It's like these games do not exist.
So even the suggestion
okay
of us telling you like, hey, make sure it's legit. It's like these were never legit games to begin with. So
these were never legit games. If you want to feel good about yourself, and go buy a copy of Jet Grind Radio. It's on Steam. It's on the PlayStation Store. It's everywhere. Like that game has been around since 2099. So it's like.
But honestly, we know who we are.
Yeah, it's like. All right, but but
we
I just thought this was really awesome.
We just legally had to put that disclaimer on there.
Yeah, we do not condone piracy. Yeah. This, in my opinion, and if some lawyer wants to, well, actually me, and then I would love to hear his reasoning on this. Allegedly,
vis-a-vis,
ergo. But yeah, no, this is really cool. Like, if you guys go to the link on this, look through these games. Like, there's a lot of cool stuff on there. Like, one of them was like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater for the Dreamcast, and it was like, that's awesome. Like that, like I think 2 was on the Dreamcast, but 1 never was.
I don't think I ever played Crazy Taxi 3.
Crazy Taxi 3, it was on the Xbox. Yeah.
Oh, was it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that might be the Dreamcast version.
Yeah. Cool.
And then you can just listen to The Offspring on loop all the time.
All the time. 24/7.
Yeah.
But cool. If you're a emulation head, go ahead and check this site out for some Xbox and Dreamcast stuff. If you still got the systems and everything and you want to enjoy some of these games, that's
pretty cool.
All right, let's go on to Roblox is on the news. Roblox, man. I don't know how I feel about this.
Wait, hold on a second. You might want to refresh. I thought I killed that article.
If you killed it, I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but...
Okay. If you do want to talk about it, Roblox is going to be implementing an ID system for age verification.
But who's this for exactly?
This is... Okay, so the reason... From what I remember on the article, I actually killed this article, like I said, because I didn't find it that interesting. Mm-hmm. This is going to be kind of... Right now, it's kind of like in a test phase to where certain experience developers, because Roblox is all about experiences, not video games.
It's not a game.
It's not a game. It's a user experience. Experiences, like you will be able to offer specific types of experiences to users if they're above a certain age, and this is the way that people can validate their age. And also the article actually says, at no point does Roblox store that data. It's like...
So where does it go?
It's like... okay. It's like your photo ID. It's like it gets scrambled once it's scanned in, and it says like, this ID belongs to a person who is above 18 years old. And then, but they don't know your name or any of the data that's on the ID, but they kind of keep track of it and say that checks. So the next time you go through an age verification, it goes, match this hash up to this one, and it says true. So it's like they found a way to like do an age verification without actually storing your name. So it's weird.
I mean, I totally get how they're like randomizing and connecting your already scrambled image file to say that it existed, because PCI compliance and all that stuff, you can get really ridiculous with that whole thing. But here's the situation. I just don't see a lot of people who look at this and be like, I don't want to give you my ID. unless there's a huge benefit to it. Which, for developers, if it's not required, why do I even need to give it to you? I've never been a fan of giving IDs over online unless I really had to.
Yeah.
But I mean, if this works out for them, that's great. I can see why you killed it, but I mean,
Roblox is still making bajillions of dollars.
Yeah.
So it's like whatever.
I'm just trying to see what benefit you could actually entice an adult to say, hey, let me bust this out of my wallet and put it across the internet, even though you've assured me that this information is going to be secured, which takes a lot of resources. If people don't know like what it takes to secure some things down like that, the fact that they're introducing this entire technology to scramble their stuff, I'm sure it's been on there for a while, or it's been available for a while, but it costs a pretty penny to have these kind of things. So there's got to be some level of importance that they're looking for.
They have the pennies.
No, I'm sure. I'm sure. But, but again, for what purpose? What do you need this for that you cannot? You want to validate a developer in case they do some sort of weird kitty level that it doesn't comply with your stuff, so that way they can just come to your house and be like, FBI, open up. I don't know. Chat, correct me if I'm wrong, but would you be willing to give up your ID to Roblox for anything, for something, depending on what it is? Who knows?
They would have to make a very enticing case.
Right. Like, hey, you get...
I don't even have a Roblox account, so I don't, I don't know. I play video games. I'm a video game guy.
And Roblox is not a video game.
Roblox is not a video game, so I have no need to ever be on Roblox.
No. I have a Roblox account because I play with my daughters, all my kids, and it's pretty fun, but I just don't think... I always wondered about this because as a parent, like, I'm like, how do you even know who's an adult? Because it even tells you when you sign up, like, tell us your age. And I put my age down just fine, but there was nothing after that. It was just like...
It doesn't, like, mark you as an adult.
Or so it's like okay, so I just go into the game as an adult, but yet nobody else is going to know that I'm an adult, and I can just, I don't know...
change my voice and just be like a
little
kid. Hey guys.
Should kids be watching this show? Should we have kids watching this right now? I'm so confused.
You know what I mean, though? Like, I could totally do that if I wanted to, but there's nothing setting me aside as an adult. I don't know. It is what it is, but... Like
I said, that's why I cut the story. F5, come on.
That's why we cut the story. Don't listen to us.
I actually cut 2 articles out, so you might... I don't know if we're going to get along to the next one or not.
After this, was it?
I don't know. The next one should be Best Buy.
Yeah. Yay! We got stock for Best Buy PS5s and Xbox Series X. Woot!
So Best Buy, and they're gone.
And it's gone.
Best Buy decided to sell Xbox Series X's and PS5s in store, which they have not done that since the launch of those consoles. They have always been in-store pickup or delivery online only.
Yeah. I think the last time they announced this, that they were going to have stock for like graphics cards, Doug. For graphics cards, people lined up the night before.
So I will say this. If you scroll down on this page, it actually gives you the list of all the stores.
Are we Nevada, on there?
Yeah. So Southwest Las Vegas, which is the one I go to. I was in that area the day this was announced. So
is that the Arroyo Crossing one?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I was there, not at Best Buy, but I was in that shopping center, right? So I was picking up some other stuff like in that same shopping center, and so I drive in there. I already knew about this happening, and so this was technically 2 days ago on Thursday morning. And so I left work early because I had to go run some errands and stuff like that. And so I drive by Best Buy, and there's already like a line of like 30-something people outside. And that was at like 3 p.m. I said morning. No, it was like 3 p.m. And it was like, from the rules that they stated on this, they weren't going to be handing out these like line tickets until 7 a.m.
The next day.
The next day. So that's like 16 hours to get a PS5. Okay, now I get it. I'm a gamer. I get it.
Yeah.
it's the hot thing. You want one. They're
It's
popular.
been hard to get.
They're
you don't
hard
know when
to
you're
get.
gonna have another opportunity to get one.
We are encroaching on Christmas shopping season. I get it.
Yeah.
But would I want to wait 16 hours for one? No. I'll just keep F5ing on bestbuy.com. You know, like that was a little extreme. I was like, holy crap.
Chat,
Like,
if you had the money to
Yeah.
sit in a line for whatever it is, this electronic piece that you want,
yeah.
would you be able to do it? Would you sit out there from 3 p.m. and wait for the next day the doors open just for you to be able to get one?
Mm-hmm.
Or is that something that you're just like, I made fun of people whenever there was an Apple release, and now I'm not gonna be that guy and wait for an Xbox/PS5 release. Robert says he would. I totally believe Robert, but Robert also goes to tailgate. You know what I mean? Like, woo, party. I'd be down for carne asada.
He did it for the PS2. He said he did it for the PS2. I remember PS2 launch day. A buddy of mine that I was in college with, basically we were there on PS2 launch day. We're at school. We're doing our thing. Class gets out, and he's like, "Hey, if you want to bail on our like afternoon classes,
Totally cool.
like I have my PS2 pre-order pickup today, and we can go do that, and then just go to your house and play games." And I'm like, okay. So we went and we grabbed his PS2, and then we drove by our Best Buy. So like he had his pre-ordered at like an EB Games, and we picked that up and got all of his games and stuff like that. And then there's a Best Buy like in the next street over, and it was like 200 people outside of this Best Buy looking for PS2s. It was crazy.
I think I did that for an iPad tablet. I think I did it for the iPad 2 for somebody else. Somebody else needed it, and they gave me the cash, and I was there that day. It was over there at the town square. And then I was like, I'll never do this again. Few years later, I'm walking up to a Verizon store, and I totally forgot it was the Xbox One release, and I saw everyone and their mom right next to a GameStop waiting for it to just release, and I was just like, I'll get mine afterwards. Granted, at that time, there was no shortage. You can just pick it up the next day. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it was
they were
fine.
not sold out. Yeah, like the Xbox One was, and the Xbox One was easily available to find.
So I picked that up, I think, like at I don't know if it was a Walmart or something like that, but I just picked it up, and I was just like, okay, this is just for me anyway.
Yeah.
But man, I do not miss those days. I think Amazon has spoiled the crap out of me, where I'm not gonna do this anymore.
Okay. Maybe I'm behind the times here. We're gonna tangent real quick. Pull up a browser and or go to Google or whatever and just type Amazon logo.
You want me to do that right now?
Yeah, do it.
Okay.
I just learned something yesterday, and I didn't know this, and I was like, what? Like, seriously? Okay.
What am I looking at?
Okay. Amazon.com, with like the little arrow there.
Yeah.
I was told this yesterday. I don't know if this is true or not, but I was like, so I just learned this. And so this is like a buddy of mine. He was like, so I just learned this the other day. And I'm like, what? He's like, the arrow under the Amazon.com. And I was like, yeah. And I always thought the arrow, like, it was kind of like a smiley face, maybe.
That's what I thought, with like a little like cheek dimple.
So scroll up a little bit so I'm not blocking it. Yeah. So like where it says Amazon.
Here, I'll just
the arrow. It has Amazon has everything from A to Z.
Oh my god.
And I was like I have been shopping on Amazon since the 90s, and I have never heard that before. I was like, what? like, is that really a thing? And he was like, yeah, it was like on this thing I saw. And I was like, what?
How does that?
Yeah.
Look, it's either genius logo marketing or someone just threw a dice out there and was just like, this
Okay,
will stay.
Raven here is like, wait, no one knew this? And I was like, yeah, apparently I just didn't know this. And I was like, dude, I've been shopping on Amazon for over 20 years now. So like, how have I
thought
never
it was
heard
a
this before?
smiley face.
I thought it was too. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
My whole world has changed.
I know. I was like, I don't even know what to believe right now.
I didn't know that, Chad. If you knew that, props to you. I don't know how you figured that out, but let us know in the chat. I don't know how that even is. I'm pretty sure now you have a conversation piece that you can now tell your friends.
You like? Here's a fun fact. You know? Yeah. Here's a little chestnut right there for you. Yeah.
Dark is like, do they have a nuke? No, false advertising. I'm pretty sure if you asked Jeff Bezos personally, he'd be like, oh yeah, that's under this hidden section over here.
Like, yeah, I've got like 40 of them. Why?
Yeah, black market.
Yeah.
Act now. There's only 8 left.
How do you think I made all my money? Yeah.
Black market category.
Yeah. Obviously.
All right. So yeah, Best Buy has stock.
Had
stock. now you're all screwed. Now
and
all these people have it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I don't know. I am still looking for an Xbox Series S, but I'm
those
not
are
gonna.
Those are actually pretty easy to find now.
Yeah, but I'm not
The
gonna
X
go
is not
for it.
easy to find. The S is surprisingly easy to get now.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna go for it at like right now. I'm just holding off. It's not an even like a real need. What is true though, that is kind of part of this story, is everywhere in there and every news article is out there being like, y'all better get on Christmas shopping now because shipping is kind of messed up even for regular items. And if you're going to procrastinate and wait till Cyber Monday, you might not be able to get the things that you want. They might be out of stock. So just a public service announcement. Make sure if you're going to go do Christmas shopping for anyone, you do it early, or else you might just not find what it is you're looking for. If there is that one thing that you're looking for. But I did tell my wife, like, hey, we need to push
get on it.
Ordering things a little bit faster.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right. Well, we're going to go on to the next one. Pokemon. So I don't know what the story is here, but apparently this game was only set to release in one platform.
Okay. What this is, there's all the Nintendo Pokemon games, right? You know, like Sword and Shield and Silver and Gold and all that stuff. This is not that. Okay. So you remember how like we talked about this like a few months ago or something like that on the show, where like Pokemon cards are like impossible to find right now because of the resale market. Right. And people are literally like fighting inside of Walmarts trying to get their hands on Pokemon cards.
35-year-olds are like bum rushing and stiff arming little kids out of the way to get their cards. Yeah.
So the Pokemon company, you know, like they're the overall, you know, like Nintendo owns a part of it and Game Freak owns a part of it and like a third company owns a part of it. They're the Pokemon company. They're essentially saying, hey guys, like we're not making a lot of money on Pokemon cards. The resale market is, but we're not. So we're going to take Pokemon the trading card game and it's now going to be an app. So like they are digitizing, like they are Hearthstoning Pokemon. Like what they should have been doing for years now, but this is going to be like the official new way to digitally play Pokemon the card game, where you're going to buy like digital packs of cards, kind of like Magic the Gathering has, or like Hearthstone has. But they're basically saying the card market is so insane right now, we're just going to go digital. And I think it's a good idea. I don't play these games. Like, I'm not a card RPG guy or anything like that, but this is one of those things where it's like, shouldn't they have done this like 10 years ago?
Sure, yeah.
You know,
but you know how Nintendo works. They move slow like molasses, and I'm pretty sure under the under the direction from Nintendo to this company that does all the cards. I'm pretty sure they just didn't want to go that route until it started cutting into their money, right?
Yeah.
So that's cool. I wonder if there's a feature where you can
NFTs law. There you go.
Yeah, NFTs. Yeah, I wonder if there's a feature for you to import your cards instead of having to rebuy them again.
Okay. It's Nintendo.
There's always wishful thinking.
They are the leaders of rebuy stuff you already have. Zero has a good point here. Says it's not going to matter if people don't play with them; they just collect them. I recall this is like 20 years ago or 15 years ago or something like that. I had some younger cousins who were really into Pokemon cards. Mm-hmm. And yeah, they would straight up tell me, it's like, no, we don't even know how to play the game. We just collect the cards. And it's like, all right, cool. All right. You do you.
These collector's items are getting ridiculously expensive.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen some cards go for hundreds of thousands of dollars just because of what they are and their quality and whatnot. And I'm pretty sure a lot of these collectors do not even touch these things outside of their protective cases, let alone put them on a playing board.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They much rather use Yu-Gi-Oh packs just to wipe their butts with, but this Pokemon's you don't touch.
Yeah.
But that's crazy. All right, cool. Well, I mean, this does solve a problem, but it also...
For the people who actually do want to play Pokemon.
Right. For those who actually want to play Pokemon, this solves a problem. I don't know how actual gamers are going to feel when they also use their collection to play a game. But then you're also talking about a very small section of probably players. They're going to buy the digital packs anyway.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I think it's a good idea, but I also want to see the fallout from this and see if there is any fallout. Maybe there isn't. Maybe nobody adopts it.
Nobody buys it at all.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a cool concept, though. And you're absolutely right. This is a 10-year-old concept that should have been there long time ago. All right. So let's move on to the next one. I don't know. Candy Crush? Do you want
skip it?
Skip?
That was the other one.
Bro, there's enough comedy here to be able to Okay.
All right.
Hold on. All right.
Let's just breeze through this one then. Okay.
So Candy Crush has an esport category, and there are pro gamers that play Candy Crush. Go.
I did love the title of this article. Candy Crush is now a hardcore esport for pro gamers. What's happening is there is a national, America-wide Candy Crush tournament that is going to be held, and it's hosted by one of the Kardashians. And it was this was literally just one of those things where I'm just like, oh, when will this world just when is the world going to come to an end?
Okay, so I was going to give it a shot till you said Khloe Kardashian.
Khloe Kardashian she's hosting this tournament of Candy Crush.
Yeah. Look, if you like Candy Crush, that's great. I think that's cool. I have a
Candy Crush makes
that still play it.
Look, I'm going to be one of those elitist video gamer people, who is just who is I don't play mobile gaming. I don't like it.
Sure. Not your market.
It's not my market. I haven't found that killer app mobile game that makes me want to play mobile games, right? But I will not be the guy who's like, nobody plays mobile games. No. I play Grand Theft Auto games. They're very popular. Candy Crush makes about 80 billion times more money than Grand Theft Auto does. It's I'm not blind to the fact that mobile game is not ending. It is not coming to an end. It is only going to go better. And it's only going to go higher. It's only going to make even more money than it does already. I fully understand that. It's just, when I see things like this, I'm just like, why?
I think mobile gaming is definitely getting there. I think the technology in mobile games are getting to console level versions so long as their controls are developed properly. I think on-screen controls work for some games and some games they don't. But if they really want to get into it, they're already starting to. I think more adoption of third-party controllers and all this other stuff is just going to work out for them. I think most games, some games already come with like Twitch integration for you to be able to stream this out from your mobile device or from a tablet directly to your channel and everything. And that's great because it gets it out there, right? You get a good following going and whatnot. Again, the demographic for mobile games is so limited that Call of Duty has put in their 2 cents in, and that's actually doing really well on Twitch streaming as well.
It's killing.
Yeah. And it's just like, we're going eventually to this format, I think we'll eventually go there.
I can see, okay, like, I know, like, every console generation, somebody says, this is going to be the last console generation. You know, like the world is going to move away from consoles. It's going to go PC and it's going to go mobile. And it's like, that's not going to happen yet. No. I can see that being the future. I can see it. It's just, we're still another 2 or 3 generations away. And then that's going to happen.
Yeah.
But for right now, it's like, no, mobile gaming is only going to get bigger.
Yeah.
Like, and it's already huge.
Yeah.
Are the games good? Not in my opinion, but it's huge. It makes a ton of money.
Can they get better? Of course. With technology, they'll probably get a lot better. Dark Zero says here, what's next? They're going to make Floppy Bird. I assume he meant Flappy Bird or whatever it's called.
Flappy Bird, yeah.
And make it into an ultra hardcore esports game. Don't joke about that.
It could happen.
Because I'll tell you what, when Flappy Bird first came out, there was video footage of people going into ridiculous levels of Flappy Bird and posting it up.
Yeah.
So it's quite possible that you might be able to see that again.
It could happen.
Yeah. And now it's live on Twitch. Number run 22. Let's see how far I can get.
Yeah.
Like, subscribe. Make sure you
smash that subscribe button, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Smash.
You might see it.
Hit the bell for notifications. It really helps us.
Yeah. But with Candy Crush, I'm not their demographic.
This
is not going to enjoy that. If it was Tetris, I'd probably be like, okay, I'll check it out a couple streams.
There is already like the Tetris competitive leagues and stuff like that. Like that is a thing. Like Tetris Master Finals and like all that stuff. I find that stuff fascinating to watch because I am not that good at Tetris. So it's like when I see it happening, I'm just like, yo, these people are crazy.
Some of the most amazing videos and achievements I've ever seen on video games have been done with games done quick. And I think I saw
Tetris
a tournament.
Grandmasters on Games Done Quick is insane to watch.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
It's like watching generations take the tournament cup and be like, okay, I am holding it now. This is for our generation. Because I think in one of the tournaments, one of the youngest players actually beat out one of the oldest Tetris players there was. I'll have to find that video.
Oh, I haven't seen that then. Yeah. Like I've seen a few years of them doing Tetris Grandmasters, and then I think it was last year they did Tetris Connected or Tetris, whatever the new one is called, like the one that's really pretty, like Tetris something Connected is like the co-op version of it that just came out. But yeah, it's a Tetris Effect. Right. That was the one last year, and it was still really cool to watch because these guys are just like max difficulty, like the pieces are just like instantly falling. It's crazy to watch.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the next one because we got some Capcom news, and I guess maybe
we have Capcom.
Maybe. I don't even know if this is rumor control at this point.
This is not rumor control. This is confirmed as we're trying to get it done.
So here's the thing.
Yeah.
I guess Capcom just didn't like the results of their last Capcom versus Marvel games because I think Infinity didn't do too well.
Infinity or Infinite or whatever it was called did not do well.
Yeah. And then Marvel, their last good Marvel versus Capcom was Marvel versus Capcom 3.
Like Ultimate 3. Yeah. Which that took a while to take off too, if you remember. But I guess get rid of Candy Crush on the screen here. Get rid of that.
I guess to draw you back in, we're going to go all the way back to Marvel vs. Capcom 2. And
Yes.
I know a lot of people who could not find the disc version of this game at several GameStops trying to find it, and it was like a collector's item.
Yeah.
Why is that?
This is just a beloved fighting game, which I get. Like, this is a super fun game. Marvel Capcom 2 was played for years at fighting game, like Evo and like fighting game tournaments and stuff like that. The only reason it slowed down is because people couldn't find the game anymore.
Right.
Like, it was so hard to find a copy of the game. It was released on like the Xbox, it's on Dreamcast. It was released on the Xbox and the PlayStation storefronts, but then it got delicensed. And so it's like, whole story here. Digital Eclipse, who is a game development company, they do a lot of compilation and collection type stuff. So you would know them from like the Mega Man Legacy games, those Disney collection packs where like they re-release like, Lion King and like all those super hard Genesis, Super Nintendo, like Aladdin, like right. What do they call it? The Disney Afternoon Collection. That was it. So they do that. Like they do like the SNK collections, things like that. They have made a statement. They basically said, we are opening conversations with Disney and Marvel. We want to re-release Marvel Capcom 2. And man, that would sell well. Like, holy crap. If you put that on the PS4, the PC, the Xbone, the Switch, whatever, you're going to see that at EVO next year. Easy.
But is that what they're doing?
Would make a comeback.
It's just a re-release, or are they HDing it up?
It would probably be a mix of both. Kind of like when Street Fighter or like Super Turbo HD came out, where it was like they kind of just helped it be a little more widescreen, and they actually redid the character sprites, which is kind of weird. But it's like, even if they did that would be a good idea. I think all they're trying to get off the ground right now is to re-release it for modern stuff. And if they did that, yeah, like I said, that would sell.
Yeah,
that would sell, and you would see that at every tournament now.
Yeah,
this game has a monstrous following behind it.
I just feel like for it to be a re-release, a lot of these characters in here belong to IP or belong to companies that have gone way bigger and have kind of outgrown this medium to the point where it's just like, no, we do exclusivity now. We don't do with other characters that well. So,
like I said, Digital Eclipse does a lot of compilation stuff, like a lot of collections. What if they released Marvel 1, 2, 3 and say Street Fighter Children of the Atom or something, or X-Men Children of the Atom, and then Street Fighter versus X-Men, like all in one big collection, and sold it for $60. Man, that game would fly.
Yeah.
Like that would be awesome.
I mean, if you're not adding anything extra to it, I can see where you're gonna avoid a couple of like legal hurdles. But if you're enhancing it and making it more than just the original game,
release all of them, make them, HD compliant or whatever. Like, I mean, obviously don't change the games too much because that's kind of like what people want, but put them online tournaments.
Right.
Like
that is cool.
Make a built-in tournament, thing, make a spectator mode, like make it so people can play these online because there's not in-game or in-person fighting tournaments right now. Like they would sell a fortune.
Right. So I'm going to call something out because I see Dark Zero says, I lost my PS1 disc. Was Marvel vs. Capcom 2 on PS1? I could have swore that was a PS2/Dreambox or a Dreamcast game.
I'd have to look it up.
An Xbox game. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. Internet, go ahead and fact check. Because I'm pretty sure that wasn't on PS1. Pretty sure. Could be wrong.
PS2.
PS2 only. Okay. It was...
Well, Dreamcast, PS2, PS3, Xbox 360, and iOS.
Yeah. Correction!
Well, actually,
it was never on the PS1.
Yeah.
All right, whatever. All right, let's get on to some Twitch news because we always have some Twitch news to talk about. Even though we'll see how excited you get about it. Twitch makes deals with the NMPA. What is that for, Clay?
The National Music Producers Association.
But
or
then
Music Publishers Association.
And what does this benefit exactly?
Them.
Oh. Wait.
Anytime what? Twitch makes a deal with anybody, it's just so they can get out of being sued. So they're framing this like all the PR spin on this. Basically, Twitch made some BFFs with music publishers, and so instead of you getting a DMCA claim and then all your videos are deleted and muted and everything like that, they're trying to make it so you can get warned. So like, hey, we found that video had some copyrighted music in it. You need to do something about that.
Right. Well, it's almost
not insta delete or insta mute or anything like that. It's them just saying you need to do something about that because you're violating.
Well, the worst part
and then if you keep it up, boom, it's done.
Right.
But yeah,
the worst part about it is like it's not even a matter of like, oh, you gotta remove this audio or you can't use this audio. We know, okay. Most people know about removing the audio. The problem,
we know,
right? Okay.
But there are so many idiots out there, who are like, what do you mean I can't put Metallica on my Twitch stream? And it's like,
which is technically.
Do you not know anything about that?
Yeah, like, look, we know the thing that sucks is automatically getting a bad strike on your account. But before we even had a chance to like correct it or mute it, YouTube kind of does this the right way. They say instead of, well, now, not before. Before it was kind of like how they're doing it now, but YouTube now, instead of telling you, hey, there's a copyright claim on this whole thing, do you want to mute that audio section? And I'm like, oh, that makes sense, because at least you're not going to take down an entire video that I spent forever editing on and then having to go back and re-edit it without the audio. Like, oh, that makes sense. So that's where I feel like Twitch should be at this point, is that, okay, fine, mark the audio and then mute the audio, or at least give me more options to make changes to it. Yeah. Because at least then you're not losing out on all these high level streamers that are jumping ship to other streaming platforms, YouTube.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, you've already seen two big ones actually move over to YouTube. I think it was Dr. Disrespect and Tim the Tap Man, which I love Tim the Tap Man. He's hilarious. But I think
I've seen one of his streams.
Yeah, he's hilarious, dude. And I would like to say that they made the right choice, because with whatever happens on Twitch, if they just remove one of their videos, you don't know what kind of money they're losing out on just because there was a mistake, right? And I feel like that's the reason why some of these big streamers are leaving, is like, dude, you don't even give us a chance and you blackball us before we even get to the point of negotiating, hey, what do you want me to do about it? So good on Twitch, but I feel like a lot of this stuff is too late.
Yeah, this doesn't actually help the streamers.
Yeah, this helps them in getting out of the court.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's go on to the next one. Tim Sweeney is back in the news. And he's saying that Apple lied to you. Yeah. But the one thing Tim Sweeney doesn't know is that he's also lying to you. And I'll tell you why. Yeah. Because he don't look like that profile picture no more. That's bullshit. Tim Sweeney does not look like that. Okay?
No, he does not.
He looks like life just beat the crap out of him in the softest way possible.
There you go.
So he says here, Apple lied. Apple spent a year telling the world, the court, and the press they'd welcome Epic's return to the App Store if they agree to play by the same rules as everyone else. Epic agreed, and now Apple has reneged in another abuse of its monopoly power over 1 billion users. So I think they've been banned for 5 years, right?
Well, okay. Because of the lawsuit, Apple versus Epic and all that stuff, their developer license for the App Store was killed.
Right.
Like that's what this is. 2 weeks ago, the lawsuit finally came to an end. There was, the judgment was, laid down, and both Apple and Epic are appealing the judge's decisions and having it escalated through the court system. Because of that, the lawsuit's not really over. It's like, here, boom, here's how it's going to be. And then they go, we don't agree. It's back on and we're appealing. Because of that, Apple's like, lawsuit's not over, bros. If you guys want to stop appealing everything, then we can be done. But because you guys are fighting all the things that you lost in the lawsuit, technically it's not over.
So who really won out of this whole thing?
There wasn't. If you could say who fared better, Apple fared better. But both sides lost in this case. Like there wasn't a winner.
And do you feel like this whole thing is just a matter of pride and just not letting go of this crap? Like, do you feel like both Apple and Tim Sweeney are the problem here? Or is it really like some one-sided thing that's just like, dude, just let it go already?
Yeah,
right?
Like, well, that's the thing. Tim Sweeney's like, Apple said we could come back, and they are not letting us back yet. And it's like, yeah, because you're keeping the lawsuit open.
Yeah, they can't finalize something if it's not finalized. But I totally get like his point of view too. Like, hey, we've already went through it. Yeah, I'm gonna file appeals and stuff, but the ruling has already been done, and we should be able to make money again, right?
Yeah, they could, but they're not happy yet because Apple didn't get slapped down as hard as they wanted Apple to get slapped down.
And it must be nice being a billionaire and be able to say a couple of words and just like piss off one of the world's biggest companies that just.
I mean, like I said, like both sides lost. Epic did yes, Apple is going to need to allow other stores, for microtransactions and stuff like that. That's where Apple lost. But the rest of it, Epic lost everything else they wanted. And so now it's like, hey, good news. You can now put a line in Fortnite on iOS and it says, hey, if you don't want to buy from Apple, you can buy from us. Click here. And it's like, that's what they wanted.
Oh, so the ruling is to say that, to now be allowed to say, hey, you can still purchase this somewhere else.
Yeah, so basically Apple was told they need to allow purchases through other stores than the App Store. But so basically from inside the app, there can be a pointer to go elsewhere. So like purchase, what they're called V-Bucks, I think, in Fortnite. So it's like purchase 25 V-Bucks or whatever. Or if you don't want to buy from Apple and you want to buy from Epic directly, click here. And it'll open like the
and
Epic
that's how they're
storefront.
going to avoid the 30% fee.
That gets them out of that 30%.
Oh.
So
I don't know.
What that is what Apple lost.
Yeah.
Was like the fact that they have to even show you an option that there's other storefronts.
This is a layered problem where both of them are right and both of them are wrong at the same time.
Well, that's the thing.
But because it falls under the guise of like, this is for the user experience. Well, this ain't. Because on both hands, if I can't purchase things where I want to, then you're causing me to have to go through you, which I don't want to give Apple my credit card, right? But then also on the flip side, it's like, no, Epic, you knew the rules when you started this. Now you're just complaining about it. When they've been forced to use Apple's pay system for the longest time. But because it cuts into their top dollar, this is their problem. So I don't know. I think they're both right and wrong at the same time.
But like the whole 5-year thing, it's basically, if you scroll down on those tweets from Tim Sweeney, it says, late last night, Apple informed Epic that Fortnite will be blacklisted from the Apple ecosystem until the exhaustion of all court appeals, which could be as long as a 5-year process. And it's like, you're the one appealing the decision.
You started this.
You are delaying Fortnite being on the App Store,
Oh
and
my
you're
goodness.
blaming Apple for
I'm
that.
gonna go ahead and clip this and just like tag him directly and just be like, tell us how you really feel, Doug.
That's what I'm saying.
Because this is coming from the
like,
consumers that made you a billionaire.
Yeah, it's like I don't care either way who wins this.
Yeah.
I use Apple products at work, but not in personal life. So I don't care like about Apple at all.
Mm-hmm.
And Epic, hey, if you guys want to release a cool console game that's not Fortnite, I'll play it.
Right.
Like, where's Unreal Tournament? I'll play that.
Yeah.
You know, but so I don't really care about Epic at the moment either. So it's like, I don't really care who wins this. I just think it's funny that Tim Sweeney's bitching about all of this when he's the one causing it to happen.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's go on to the next one. The Nintendo Direct came up.
This is the final story, by the way.
Yeah, this one came up. A couple of surprises here and there. It was pretty good, in my opinion. I liked all the trailers that I saw. Kirby came back.
Fantastic. Yeah.
My boy Kirby's back, eating up everything. But the thing that threw me off was like post-apocalyptic levels, and I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
What the Forgotten Lands or something like that? I was just like, wait, hold up, Forgotten Land.
Kirby and the Forgotten Land.
Yeah, dude. Like I'm excited for anything Kirby because it's like one of my childhood games. Kirby Dream Land, all that other stuff. Like I really enjoyed taking powers and utilizing them and being strategic about it. But it wasn't a deep game. You know?
No.
But
it's fun though. Like
it is
Kirby
fun.
games are great. Like I have nothing against Kirby. Kirby's fun.
For an NES game back in the day, being able to take an enemy's powers was just like next level. Because I was just like, oh man, you mean the A and B button aren't just like dedicated to one single move, jumping and slashing? But yeah, Kirby's
you got a sword.
Kirby and the Forgotten Lands has been announced. I thought it was great. I can't wait to watch somebody play this because I don't own a Switch, and I don't want to own a Switch. I feel like I'd be carrying around that sucker everywhere and distracted.
I love the Switch. The Switch is awesome. The Switch is great. It's awesome. Yeah.
Clay, was there anything that got you excited?
Yeah. So we don't need to cover everything that happened on here. The next one down, actually, the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pass. So basically, if you subscribe to Nintendo Online or Nintendo Switch Online, like whatever they call it, this is their version of like Xbox Live or PlayStation Network, right? It's like their online thing that if you pay into it, you can play online stuff like Splatoon or whatever.
Right.
They currently with that subscription, you get your online gaming, but they also give you a number of Nintendo and Super Nintendo games. So like NES and Super NES games, which are awesome. Like it's a lot of Nintendo made stuff, but there's some third party stuff in there too. It's cool.
Okay.
You know, it's like, hey man, it's been a while since I've played Super Metroid. Boom, it's right there on the Switch. With that, they announced that they're going to be adding Nintendo 64 and actually Sega Genesis games into it. And so I was like, go on. Now,
wait, what?
Yeah, so because they're just ROMs, right? But they're like official, supported ROMs that are going to be downloaded into your Nintendo Switch.
So Sega's like, oh, screw it. We're just going to lend out.
They made a deal. Sega and Nintendo made a deal. And if you have a Switch Online subscription and everything like that, you can actually buy controllers, right? So like they make wireless NES and Super Nintendo controllers. Nintendo announced they're going to be selling an N64 and a Genesis controller that links up to the Switch.
Oh, what?
And I was like, that's cool, man. Like, I am on board. What kind of sucks, though, is Japan is going to be getting the 6-button Genesis controller. We're only going to get the 3-button.
Wait,
and
what?
I was like, yeah, I know, because Sega hates us, but, like, whatever. But I thought that was a really cool touch.
There's got to be a deeper story than that. There's got to be something that's just like, the 6-button was originally only designed for Japanese because they were complaining about the controller, kind of like how the Xbox S controller and the Duke, that controversy. I was just like,
yeah.
Well, we's Americans likes big controllers. Because we got big American hands.
Yeah.
America.
America.
Yeah.
But yeah, Nintendo's thing, yeah, like I said, it was, for the most part, it was pretty good. Bayonetta 3 was shown off a little more. They already announced that. Splatoon 3, Monster Hunter's getting an expansion, which Monster Hunter Rise, super popular game. A lot of people love that. There's going to be a Chocobo racing game.
Yeah, I'm watching that right now.
Yeah, the Castlevania Advance Collection was announced and released. So those are the Castlevania games that were on the Game Boy Advance back in the early 2000s. Those games are all awesome, like super good stuff. ActRaiser, which was a Super Nintendo game, if you guys remember that one at all. ActRaiser was remastered and then released, so it's like all HDified and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Animal Crossing was in there. And also the big one was, and I know we were talking about this on the Discord the other day, they showed off the American voice cast for the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Chat, be patient with us.
I will say this. Not all bad.
No?
Not all bad. I was actually... One of the voice casts on there, I don't know if you want to pull it up or anything, or I'm sure it's easily Googleable. But Charlie Day as Luigi, I was like, yes, that's perfect. Like, that is a good voice cast, right? Like whoever the casting agent is on that movie, Charlie Day as Luigi, that in my brain clicks. And I was like, all right, that works. You know?
Okay. I don't have a problem with that point for Luigi.
I know what you have a problem with. you have the same problem that like I think everybody on Earth has right now. Yeah.
Look, Keegan-Michael Key for Toad, sure.
Solid.
There's never been like a person that I really relate to that because it's literally not a human.
The only voice we had for Toad, aside from Super Mario Brothers movie from like the 90s,
right?
The only voice we had was like, "Hey, Mario!" Ah! And I was like, I don't ever want to do that again. So any other voice will work for me.
Yeah.
There we go. That's what we're talking.
Here
about.
we go. So this is the voice cast for the Mario movie, which. Not related to the original Mario movie with John Leguizamo. Yeah. Who else was on there?
Bob Hoskins.
Yeah, and whatever. Seth as DK. I want to see it. I want to see it.
I like it.
Yeah.
To me, like I said, kind of like Charlie Day's Luigi, Seth Rogen as DK made sense to me. I was like, yeah, okay, I can hear that.
Jack Black as Bowser, bro.
I'll take it.
I want to see it.
I like it. That's what I'm saying. Like so far, the girl playing Peach, I'm behind the times, I guess. Whatever. I don't know who that is.
Yeah.
So I don't know what kind of voice she has. I have never heard. But I was like, sure, maybe she'll do a good job.
Yeah.
And then we get to Star-Lord. And it was like, do I hate his voice by any means? Not at all.
No.
Like I like the guy's acting. I love Parks and Rec. One of my favorite TV shows ever.
Hilarious.
Parks and Rec is great. Guardians 1 was good, 2 was meh, but like I don't hate the guy, you know? It's just I don't like when I'm looking at Mario. Short fat Italian.
Let's get into this one. Okay.
Short fat Italian guy.
Picturing it.
It's
My
a
mind's
me,
eye
Mario.
is picturing it.
It's a me.
It's a me.
Yep.
Fuck, I lost it. I don't.
And then you got Charles Martinet down there in the bottom right corner, the voice of all of these characters. And then it's like, and then you got Star-Lord, and you're like Chris Pratt, and you're like, I don't get it. Like like my brain, like I said, like Charlie Day, Luigi, like it connects in my head, and Seth Rogen, DK, and I was like, and I'm just a Jack Black fan anyway, so like I'm down. But then it was like Chris Pratt as Mario, and I'm just like it does not compute in my head, you know? It's like I can't look at Mario and like hear that voice.
So let me ask you a question. We talked about everyone except who's going to be playing Peach, which I believe she's been doing quite a few
Like I said, I don't know who that is.
That is, she's been in a couple of Netflix movies, and she's done really well for herself since then.
Okay, well, so since you know who that is, honestly, I don't know who it is. Could you hear her voice in Princess Peach?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Princess Peach is not a real deep character. None of these characters are real deep. Let's just be honest, right?
Yeah.
But when it comes to Charlie Day having his goofiness and his Luigi-ness, I totally see that. When it comes to Jack Black, Michael Key, Seth Rogen, I could see that. I just have never seen Chris Pratt do anything silly to the point where it's just like, oh, maybe it'll be that, right? Maybe it'll sound like this. But I have been surprised before. And we don't even know the plot of this movie unless it's already been announced, right?
Not that I know of.
A lot of this stuff is just all voice acting, right?
It is like this is a CGI movie. By the way, it's it was announced as holiday 2022, so next Christmas time.
Right.
They announced this movie, like Nintendo first spilled the beans on this movie like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's like, so it's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, it's being made.
So
it'll be out in a few years. And but now we're finally getting a little more details. We don't even know what the plot is.
Right.
I'm going to assume maybe Bowser kidnaps Princess Peach. Just like
spoiler alert.
Calm down. I heard my gardener's cousin's roommate's dog's cat's hamster works for Nintendo and said Bowser kidnaps Princess Peach.
Oh my goodness.
I'm just
and I bet you anything in the first scene she's probably going to be at a different castle.
Oh.
And you know what?
I think I read that in the script because I'm in the know and I got the script and there's a joke in there about how the princess is in another castle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then not only that, bro, but that's going to set it up for the 3-part episodic movie. Second movie ends exactly the same way. Different castle. Man, blown, dude. They
got me again.
Crazy.
Dagnabbit.
But yeah, Chris Pratt. Look, the fact that it's voice acting means that they're very much open to changing voices out and editing them in a certain way where it's just like, wow. Like, look, here's a good example of voice acting that was completely changed and the actor was great. Rocket from Marvel movies.
Brad Cooper?
Yeah. That's Brad Cooper. Yeah. Have you ever heard of Brad Cooper doing other voices that sound like that?
That is a fantastic example there because I've seen tons of Brad Cooper movies and things like that. Yeah, and he doesn't sound anything like that. But apparently when he was in the recording studio, whoever his voice director was, they were like, keep working at it, change it to here, do this. And then he kind of fell into this Rocket Raccoon voice. Right. And then they were like, that's the one. And
it totally fits.
Yeah, and it was perfect. But if you watch him in movies, he sounds nothing like that. So yeah, you're right. You know what? That's a very fair point you just said there. Maybe they're going to work with Chris Pratt and kind of turn his voice, through the process into Mario.
But my first reaction to hearing Chris Pratt try to do an Italian voice is just going to be laughter. You know what I mean? It's just, I can't. All right. Well, that was our last article of game news for this week. We hope you enjoyed it. We hope you come back next week. We do this every week on Saturday, noon to whenever we get the hell done.
This, by the way, if nobody knows this, I'm just going to, here's how the sausage is made. This is planned to be a 1-hour show every week.
Yeah. We never ever meet that, but
I think the first few, when we re-kicked it back up again, last year, it was all right, 1 hour, we're doing this. Yeah. We're an hour 40 in.
Yeah.
It's
so technically it is my job to cut it down and remove things that go from 3 hours almost to 1 hour or maybe even less. So enjoy those replays on the website on nerdjunkies.com. We post them up. But then also make sure you follow us if you haven't been following us. If you see this on the video, the VOD, make sure you do so. We appreciate it. And check us out on the Discord. We got game servers. We got discussions going on all over the place on Discord. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Clay, you got anything?
No, man. I need to. I tell you what. You know what? I need to play some games today. I need to finish Deathloop.
Yeah.
I'm near the end. I'm near the end of the loop.
Are you casting it?
I mean, I can. Whatever.
You say that every time.
I did last week, didn't I?
Yeah, we were watching.
Dude, I played that for like 6 hours last week.
And you're almost done, right?
I'm almost done. But when I get done with Deathloop, I can start Lost Judgment. And I am aching to play that game. I'm like, it is on my Xbox. It is up to date and patched, and DLC is installed. And I'm like, I gotta finish Deathloop. I just gotta finish Deathloop real quick, and then I'm gonna jump in.
I'm glad that you have that level of self-control to actually finish a game you started, or at least dump it.
If I started playing Lost
Judgment,
Judgment, just to be like, all right, I'm just gonna jump in and put like an hour into it. No, Deathloop would be collecting dust at that point. Like I would. Deathloop is good. It is not a bad game. I don't think it's worthy of like this is game of the year, perfect, everything like that. It is a good game,
right?
But it's like it is. Once I beat that, it is like, okay, Xbox on,
and we're
Lost
done.
Judgment, let's go. Yeah.
Gotcha. All right, well, we're gonna see everybody. Make sure you check back with us next week, same time, same channel, and then we'll go from there. We hope to see you on the Discord, and Mel should be back next week, I think. Who knows? Maybe she has other family somewhere that comes in from some other side. Whatever. Shut up.
Whatever.
All right. See you all later.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for coming.
Bye.
Bye.
We'll see you later. Aspeedasane.
Ingate.
Never fails. All right. And